So, moral of the story is we have allowed technology to completely take over our lives. Sad truths. That's a sad truth. Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for American Horror Story, Season 10, Episode 10. So this is it. This is the season finale, The Future Perfect. It's 1972 and Nixon is now president. There's a lynch mob outside the White House. They want to, they want to make love, not war. So they upset. They're in arms. Val is there reminding Nixon of their deal. The war is serving, a very important purpose. And, of course, we're all confused. What's the purpose? And he says that if people are focused on the war, they won't be worried about all the people that have gone missing. So that's the purpose. Keep the people distracted. Nixon wants to know, how much longer on this little project, like we can't be doing this. This has been going on for years. Y'all have been trying to create the perfect species for years. How long we got to do this? We can't be at war for this long. And Val tells him that they anticipate the perfect hybrid being born around year 2021. So of course they're like, damn, 50 years. We really can't wait 50 years. Like this can't happen. And Val says, of course not. That's not what we mean. We have a list of distractions lined up, so don't even worry about it. They can come in many forms. The other guy that's there, like he got something going on with his eye. He covering up his face. And so he excuses himself. When he gets outside, he kind of pushes his skin back up. And then his tongue goes slithers out like that, like a lizard, and then his eyes close like a lizard. I was like, wait, what in the... So now we got lizard people? What is happening? Eisenhower is on his deathbed. He's watching the news and he sees that lizard man. He's like, that's one of them people. And then he says that they've always known that there was another species living among the humans. And Mammy thinks that he's talking crazy and turns the TV off. And, she goes on about, listen, all she care about is her parties. Okay? Thank you, Mrs. Eisenhower, for birthday parties. Good grief. She's moved on, though, to creating a new holiday. She wants to create Evacuation Day. Girl, please. Anyway, he's getting weak now. Val ends up showing up. And Eisenhower, of course, refuses to go to Area 51 because he's like, we can take you, like, you can live forever. We can make it happen. He's like, I'm not about to play around with you. I ain't doing that. I don't want that fountain of youth that you got. No, thank you. He's ready to die. And then he ends up dying, and Mammy tells Val, well, I ain't finna end up like this. Make sure you take me around there to Area 51 when it's my time to go. It's 1972. Nixon is meeting with a guy, and it's the same guy that went out with his eye hanging off. I mean, with his skin falling off. But anyway, they're having a meeting, and he's paranoid that that they want to get rid of him. He thinks that he's gonna be the fall guy for all of this, and he's not willing to be the scapegoat. He wants the guy to go to Val's office, and bug it. And, because he's like, I got to know what's going on. I want you to go over there and bug it. Keep your eye on their every move. Then we get a reporter who is talking to somebody like in a garage. And the person that comes out of the shadows, it's Mammy. So she there to talk about Watergate. And she says she gonna go by the name Deep Throat. I said, what, Mammy? Okay, girl. She and Val are in on this whole little thing, and she's trying to throw the media off their scent so the people will think that, one thing is happening when it's another. Mammy thinks that they should just kill Nixon, and of course, he's like, listen, that's been done enough. We done assassinated too many of them. Too many presidents have been assassinated. We can't do that one again. But they can't risk him telling it all, so they are going to have to take other measures for sure. Nixon, he's in there praying with the lizard man. And the lizard man ain't even hiding the fact that he lizard man. I don't know if it was because Nixon had his eyes closed and he was praying, but the man's tongue was just, flicking out. His eyes was acting crazy. I'm like, so do we know about the people? Or I think Nixon might know. I think Nixon might know, that they live amongst them. I'm not sure. But he doesn't know what he should do, whether he should resign or not. That is what the aliens and the powers that be want him to do. They just want him to resign. But he really don't know if he should or not. Lizard Man tells him that he should. It's really your only option. And Henry, the Lizard Man, ends up excusing himself, and Nixon, he's still in there talking shit. And he just says, you know what? I ain't resigning. I'm not doing it. Not gonna happen. And that's just that. And then there's this bright light. The aliens come in and probe and prod him, basically rape him into submission. And then the next thing we see, he's sitting up talking to the American people, saying, well, by today at noon, I'm gonna be gone. By today at noon, I'm gonna put in my letter of resignation. I'm gonna go on and resign. So that was that. That didn't take long at all. It wasn't hard at all. While Nixon was announcing his resignation, Mammy and Val are watching, and they're standing up there pleased with themselves, and Mammy is just like, well, about my future, I'm ready to go and live forever at Area 51. So go on and make it look nice, make it look nice. Then we hear the news reporting on Mrs. Eisenhower's death. And at the same time, she pulling up to Area 51. So, she settles in and twirls into the lunch hall. And the people really don't care. The people really don't care. Then we see Calico. She cares. She knows who she is, and they become fast friends. It's present day. And the alarms are going off in the place. And the men in black are around there with their guns drawn, checking the place. And they get to Mammy's room, and of course she demands answers. She wants to know what's going on. And they tell her that there's been an unauthorized killing, and she's like, there's been a murder? Who got murdered? She wanted to know, okay, what was T? What's T? He don't tell her nothing. He just turn around and leave. They get to the moon set, and both Cal and Troy are dead. So that baby killed both of them. But the baby's nowhere to be found, of course. So they looking around, and then one of them looks up, and the baby is like flying down and lands right on his face, and of course chews it up. The other cop that was over there, I wouldn't call him cop, but the other man that was there, emptied his whole clip in that man and the baby. Miss Candy come in there. And she's all upset because they killed the baby. It's like, girl, what? She all upset that they killed the baby, and she wants them to run tests on the baby. So take the baby on out. We got to run tests to see where the regression happened, because they haven't gotten a hybrid like that in a while. So she got to figure out what happened. On her way out, she gets a few new good gunmen to kill the other gunmen, and just keeps on moving. I'm like, what is the point, lady? Was they gonna leave and say something? Or maybe, I guess she was mad that they shot that baby up like that. I don't know. They're all instructed to head to the lunch hall for their little cube of jello. And Kendall's worried about Troy and Cal, of course, because they didn't show up to the lunch hall. They don't know where they are. They go and ask Calico, and she's like, nobody can leave this place. So they couldn't have left. And so Kendall remembers the moon set, and so they go there. Of course, they find all the bodies in there. And Jamie immediately goes into labor, and so does Kendall. Miss Candy just happens to be in the room, and she's like, oh yes, the time is near. I'm like, where did she even come from? She kind of, waves her hand and, puts them in a deep sleep. When they wake up, they're both, strapped to the stirrup or whatever. Jamie delivers first. It's given ET. So they slit the baby's throat and put it in the water. And afterwards they kill Jamie. I'm like, well, damn. I guess because, what good are you if this is what you produce? I don't know, but they killed Jamie. And maybe it was because it was the last episode, so a few more people needed to die. Miss Candy is like, well, she prancing around like this. Well, you have to be the one. You gonna have to be the one. Kendall delivers, and it is the perfect specimen. Baby was still ugly to me, but it was the perfect specimen. And Kendall is like, it's only a matter of time, like, before these babies, these y'all little species come, turn out more human than you want to be. And she's like, she says something about her head. And Miss Candy is like, oh girl, we won't be needing that anymore. Thank you. And then completely lasers her head off. Completely. Her head just went rolling. And then they come in with this big old round metal thing with some wires attached to the bottom part of it, and they like align it with her, well, what's left of her neck. And it kind of like locks in place and wakes the body up. So that was weird. That was weird. It's Mammy's birthday. The staff and Calico are singing her happy birthday. She get her little cupcake. And Mammy just seems unenthusiastic about birthdays now. She said, I ain't really with it these days. Like, I just ain't really with it. Ain't nothing to celebrate. Like, living forever. What kind of memories can I have? Like, I'm running out of stories, And at another table, the people start celebrating. It's finished. They're like, well, what's going on? Mammy goes straight to Val, and he's all cold and tells her basically that, now that they've created the perfect specimen, they will not be needing the humans anymore. Like, across the board, they're ready to go on and take over the world. They're ready to take over Earth and throw the rest of the humans to the wayside, because what do they need with the humans? It's such a shame. And Mamie is just standing there looking cheap, because that's what Ike was trying to tell you. She's talking about, oh, Ike, he told me I couldn't trust you. Well, duh. And you ain't listen. And now look at you. Cheap. You should have listened, girl. She tells him about the other species, and he's like, duh, we already knew about that. We already got a treaty with them too. Like, we can live with them. We ain't living with y'all though. That's out. Mammy wants to see the baby. So she runs up on Miss Candy, and being that Miss Candy is, a big fan of Mr. Eisenhower, she, goes ahead, she gonna let her in. So she lets her through, and Mammy, she said she didn't expect the thing to be so beautiful. I'm like, beautiful? Where about? Anyway, Miss Candy started talking about, the mother and how she's livestock or whatever. And Mammy is starting to see, they really have been using humans like they're nothing. Like, she tells her humans are not some piece of technology. We're not a machine. Miss Candy begs to differ. And she's like, well, I mean, what rules this earth? The people or the machines? I said the machines. The machines, but we the people are making the machines, Miss Candy girl. So anyway, she tells her that, that they the extinction wiping out the humans ain't what President Eisenhower would want. And Miss Candy is like, who said anything about wiping y'all out? And she's like, girl, you ain't know? Oh, so they didn't tell you? Okay, Calico and Mammy, they playing cards, and Mammy's filling her in on the mess. But she has a plan. She says, if we destroy that host and that baby, they're gonna have to start over. It's gonna buy us some time to get the American people on board. Calico don't want no smoke though. She says she's scared. She ain't really trying to go down that road. But Mammy tells her, well, okay, well, what about if we have somebody on the inside? So now we see them with Miss Candy, and she's letting them in to see the baby. And Mammy is about to, she grabs some scissors. She about to take the baby out. And all of a sudden, as soon as she get over there, Miss Candy like wipes, makes her, freezes her. And Mammy is like, bitch, you Lord. Miss Candy's like, oh, thought that you would play on my human side, did you? The human side is my greatest regret. Like, I don't move with the human side of me, okay? She's all alien. And so she done double crossed them, and she ended up she ended up exploding Mammy's head, of course, with the wave of her hand. Mammy's head exploded. Calico falls in line because she don't want no problems. And then another birth is about to happen. And so, you know, it just is what it is. The cycle will continue. The end. They tried it this season, didn't they, guys? I ain't gonna say I enjoyed this season. And like, their American Horror Story, Murder House, and Coven, I have watched more than once. And I don't want to do that with this one. Like, throw this one in the garbage. This must have been the pandemic one, the pandemic season, where we couldn't really do too much. Like, we didn't really have all the writers that we normally have. I don't know, but it just didn't give, like, it didn't give what it was supposed to be giving. Not to me. Not to me. They fell short, especially with this second half. The first half with the vampires and all of that, that was whack too. But I mean, I could stomach that one a little bit better than this one. I don't know. They dropped the ball altogether with this season, with season 10. I'm disappointed. I will say that. I ain't going nowhere. Like, the disappointment don't mean we done. Because when we come back again for another season of American Horror Story, Buzz gonna be in the place. I'm excited about some new stuff coming out. Insecure will be coming out soon, and so y'all can be looking for those reviews. We definitely gonna be reviewing Insecure because it's the final season. I want to say that's it. I think that's it. I dropped Salt Lake City. Y'all ain't watching it, so we don't waste time on the videos that get 8 views. So yeah, we not doing Salt Lake City no more. But anyway, guys. This was fun. Anyway, I mean, we're done with it. So we won't be back for American Horror Story next week because we are through. Hallelujah. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby. And I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.